What it do, YouTube? Welcome to Matty B Wrestling. It's your boy Matty B, and we're here to talk about WWE Fastlane and what had happened. And what had happened at Fastlane was it was a surprising and fun show, I'd say. We had lots of good matches. We had some storytelling advancements. Of course, that's what you want. A lot of things we typically don't see from Fastlane, but this time around we did have some good things going on. So start off with the pre-show. We had Rusev and Nakamura versus Xavier Woods and Big E, and this one was fun. All four people involved, I should say, are very good, very talented. Lots of offense on both sides. There was no dominant team or anything like that. And New Day did come away with the win with the up, up, down, down. They did get the pin, which was cool. I was kind of thinking the heels would win to kind of advance the Kofi Kingston story of him being the underdog and whatnot. But this was a fine match. And to start the main show off proper, we did have the SmackDown Tag Team titles with The Miz and Mac. Miz being the hometown boy got a huge pop from the crowd against the champions, which are the Usos. And this was a cool match. Lots of back and forth. Miz getting over crazy with the crowd. Everyone was behind him. There was a great spot where Shane saw an opportunity for the coast to coast. He was on one side. Uso was on the other side, telling him, "Don't jump, don't jump." Uso sees Miz on the ground, goes for a splash. Shane jumps across and kind of intercepts the splash and just kicks Uso out of the air. Really cool spot, something different. We always see the coast to coast, and they kind of find a nice way to reinvent it all the time. So that was really neat. Miz gets up, sees an opportunity, goes, his dad's at ringside, by the way, telling him, go up, go up, go up. So Miz goes up for a frog splash. The knees come up, Uso rolls him over, pins him, 1, 2, 3, and the Usos retain. But the point of this match was the aftermath. We all knew this was leading to a WrestleMania match between the two. We just didn't know who'd be the face in the match and who'd be the heel. So here we found out Miz and Mac were outside, not celebrating, but putting each other over, raising each other's hands. They each go up to Miz's dad. I'm sorry, and they're talking to him. Raise his hand. Everything's cool. Miz starts walking away, and out of nowhere, boom! Shane blindsides him, beats the heck out of him. Miz's dad's just sitting there watching. He can't do nothing. Security's kind of holding him back, like, "Hey, you can't jump the rail." Shane beats him up some more, puts him in a couple submission holds, goes up to Miz's dad and grabs him by the face and says, "This is your boy, look what I'm doing." I thought this was awesome. Great for Shane. Never seen him in this light, really, to be the heel, recently anyways, to be the heel. And then we see Miz, who's been a great heel for many years, is going to be the face going into all this. So it'd be cool to see how they play this out and see who comes out on top. I'm gonna imagine Miz will come out on top at WrestleMania, but you never know with the factor of Shane being a McMahon at WrestleMania. So next we had Elias come out. He had a running theme throughout the show where he'd come out and sing a little song about what just happened, kind of a recap. So he made fun of the Miz and Cleveland, pretty much, calling them all losers and everything like that. So that was pretty funny. The next match, though, was Mandy Rose and Asuka for the SmackDown Women's Championship. The match itself was kind of sloppy. Rose does look better and improved, and she looks decent, but she's just not on the same level as Asuka. It was fine for what it was. Some submissions going back and forth there. We started seeing Sonya trying to interfere, getting on the apron, and at one point she went underneath the ring looking for weapons. It looked like she throws up the ring apron, grabs a kendo stick, is kind of looking around like, okay, when can I use this? Left the curtain up on the ring. Asuka throws Mandy into the ropes. Mandy slips on the curtain, falls down, gets hit with a nasty kick that they showed a slow-mo, hit her, and her whole jaw just shifted. Asuka gets the pin, 1, 2, 3. I guess this match was more for the after the match angle. We get to see we get to see Mandy Rose and Sonya, kind of some tension there now, so maybe we'll be seeing a match between them at WrestleMania. As far as Asuka goes, I'm not too sure. The rumors are that Lacey Evans will be her opponent at WrestleMania, but we haven't seen anything from Lacey Evans other than her little catwalk shtick that she keeps doing, so who knows. Next we see Kofi waiting in the back. by the outside of the McMahon's office. or their suite, whatever they have back there. This was continuing from an earlier part of the pre-show. There was a guy who came and told Kofi that the McMahons wanted to see him in their office. So Kofi was back there waiting. This was, an hour, a couple hours before the present time. So Kofi's standing there. The New Day comes up like, hey, what's going on? Kofi's just like, hey, I've been waiting out here. So Big E's like, nah, screw that. Let's go. They open the door. They go inside. McMahon's there on the phone. Kofi's kind of standing there. Woods and E are pleading with Mr. McMahon to, he's got to get in this match. You got to put him in. He deserves it. Vince just says, yeah, you know what? Tonight's match will be a triple threat match, and Kofi, you're going to be in a triple threat match, and it's going to start now. And then so Kofi goes, and it's exciting. His music hits. He goes out. They announce the match, and then, right before the next person comes out, there's a producer, someone talking to the ring announcer. Ring announcer says, this match has become a handicap match. It'll be Kofi against the Bar. Both men are in the ring at the same time. The Bar come down. They just beat the heck out of Kofi. He tries to get some offense in, but he can't get going. It's 2-on-1. The numbers game just catches up with him. New Day try to come save him. They were banned from ringside, but they said, screw that. They're coming to save their boy. And then Shinsuke Nakamura and Rusev came down, took out Woods and E, and then it just was a big beatdown for the New Day, unfortunately. The match was fine. It did what it needed to do. It gave you more sympathy for Kofi. It made him look like the ultimate underdog if he wasn't already. As I said earlier, Elias was coming throughout the show. He came back again after this New Day beatdown, and he talked about Kofi getting beaten down and said it reminded him of the Cleveland Cavaliers getting beat down all the time. So that was pretty funny. He's great at these sports analogies and hating on the home team. It's pretty funny. So that was a cool little moment. The next match was the Raw Tag Team title match, which was, of course, the Revival. With the champions, they had Ricochet and Black, and then they also had Gable and Rude. And two matches I thought were the best matches of the night. It could have been interchangeable with the other one. So, of course, these guys are all really good. We've seen them all in NXT. They've probably 6 of the most talented guys on the planet. So, we had some really great spots. There was a cool little sequence where Gable did the German suplex for the pin. I think he had Aleister Black in the pin. Dash Wilder jump off the top rope, give a splash to Gable while he was in the bridge. He goes down, and then we had Ricochet do the shooting star press off the other turnbuckle, and he hits Wilder with that. It was a cool little back and forth sequence there. Ricochet just went crazy in this match. He had another spot where he jumped off the top rope to the outside, catches Wilder in a Hurricane Rana, throws him around. Then another spot where Ricochet was in one corner. Rude and Dawson, I believe, were on the outside, on the other corner by the ring steps. Ricochet flies across the ring, jumps over the corner post, and just takes out both of them. As he was doing this, Gable tagged him to get himself in the match as a legal man. Kind of looked on like that was crazy after Ricochet jumped over. And then Gable and Dawson go back and forth for a little while. Wilder eventually comes up. They hit the Shadow Machine, and the Revival do retain. This was great for them. I think they put on a good showing. Showed that they can hang with the best of the tag teams. This made them look really strong. Hopefully going forward, they have a nice match and feud set up for WrestleMania. I'm excited to see where that goes because these guys are really great when they are given a chance to be. All right, so next, originally there was supposed to be a pre-show match between Rey Mysterio and Andrade, and that didn't happen. It turned into what is now a fatal 4-way match for the U.S. title with those two gentlemen, and of course the champ Samoa Joe and the former champ R-Truth. And this, of course, was another great match. It just built on the match they had at SmackDown, which was really good. Lots of crazy spots. There was a cool spot where R-Truth had Andrade up on his shoulders, like in the electric chair position, and Ray jumped off the top turnbuckle and did a cool Hurricane Rana to Andrade off of R-Truth's shoulders. Ray also did another cool springboard Rana from the inside to the outside, got Andrade. Him and Andrade had a lot of stuff going on. Of course, they have their little personal thing going where Andrade will mock Eddie Guerrero and doing the shoulder shrug, and he'd do the Three Amigos just to get on Ray's bad side. And then of course Truth gets he gets his spot where he starts doing the 5 moves or whatever, 6 moves of doom, because he's of course on John Cena's biggest fan. He gets Joe down, and then Ray comes at him. He hits Ray with the whatever the side thing that John Cena does to set up the 5-knuckle shuffle, and he goes, hits the ropes, does the 5-knuckle shuffle on both of them, which is really cool. And then ultimately the champ retains. He caught Rey Mysterio in a coquina clutch, choked him out. No tap, which was good, but Ray did pass out from the lack of air going to his brain when he was getting choked out by Joe. So it was a great match. This was the other match I mentioned that was match of the night for me. This one, the Raw tag team match, was awesome. If you haven't seen it, you need to go watch them. They're really good. It's worth your time. Not too long. They each got a good amount of time, but nothing crazy. Just really good matches. Lots of great spots. Next, we had the Women's Tag Team Championship match, which is, of course, Bayley and Sasha, Boss and Hug against Tamina and Nia Jax. It was okay. It was nothing crazy, just pretty standard match. The tag team work was good between the two teams. Of course, the heels worked over Bayley for a long time. Back and forth tags, taking her out. Finally, Bayley gets the hot tag on Sasha. Some cool things going. They have that tag team move where it looks like Bayley's just holding Sasha's hand as she runs on the ropes and then jumps onto somebody, which is neat. Cool little spot they do. The match was nothing crazy though. I think it was more for the aftermath of the match is what this was all about, to set up. After Bayley and Sasha win, Tamina and Nia Jax, of course, are upset. They start beating down the champs, throwing them all over the outside. Beth Phoenix, who was on commentary for the match, got upset about it. Gets up, gets in Tamina's face, knocks her down. Then Nia Jax comes from behind, blindsides Beth Phoenix. They start working her over, beat her down. Out comes Natalya, which was really smart. I know that's her friend, but it was just her against the two big Samoan Slaughterhouse members. But they ended up just beating her down, and so maybe this is setting up a match between Beth Phoenix, Natty, and Nia Jax and Tamina for WrestleMania. Cool way to get Beth Phoenix back in there, I guess. But the match itself was nothing crazy. Looking forward to seeing what they do with the tag titles for the women, though, going forward. Hopefully they can get some good opponents for Bayley and Sasha, put on a nice women's match that they're very, very capable of doing. They just need the right opponents. So next was the WWE Championship match, which was, of course, Daniel Bryan against I wanted to be Kofi, against KO, and the triple threat was still looming, and it ended up being Mustafa Ali, which was awesome, but they put him in a really bad spot. He did get booed as he was getting announced in the ring. The crowd really, really wanted Kofi. Nothing to do with Ali, not his fault. Unfortunately, he did get some crowd backlash. Nonetheless, the match started off slow, methodical. It was really good, though, by the end. The crowd did get back into it, even though they did keep chanting throughout the match for Kofi. But by the end, they did have, they were out of their seats, jumping, popping for the spots. Some great spots in this match as well. One of my favorites were Daniel Bryan was laying half his body under the ropes out onto the ring apron, and this is insane. Mustafa Ali does a 450 splash from the top rope onto the apron. Nails it perfectly. It was an awesome spot. It was crazy to see. And then the end sequence was pretty awesome. And the end of this was all really good. After the 450 splash, Bryan rolls to the other side of the ring. Ali goes for the pin. Rowan pulls him out, interferes. Of course, no DQ and triple threat rules. From there, Rowan tries to get up on the apron. Super kick from Ali. KO comes in. Super kick from KO. He's still kind of hanging on the edge. Both of them hit him with the super kick. Ali goes, gives him a Hurricane Rana to the ring post, knocks him back. All 3 men are outside. KO's still in the ring. Runs off the rope, jumps over, does a flip over the top dive, takes out everyone. It was pretty cool. KO's getting up. Daniel Bryan comes, hits him with the knee, takes him out, throws him in the ring for the pin. He's going to the top rope. Ali jumps up onto the top turnbuckle with Daniel Bryan. Daniel pushes him off. Ali does a backflip, lands on his feet. Bryan comes to run for the knees, misses. Ali jumps back up on the apron, jumps back, catches Bryan in the tornado DDT, DDTs him on the outside of the ring, takes him out. Kevin Owens then comes. Ali runs at Kevin. Kevin throws him up, pop-up powerbomb, takes him out. Ali's back is destroyed. Kevin throws Ali in the ring to get the pin. Rowan comes back, pulls out KO, gives him a roundhouse, throws him over to the timekeeper's area. Rowan picks up Daniel Bryan, puts Bryan back in the ring. Bryan goes for the pin. Ali kicks out. Crowd goes crazy. Picks him up, starts talking crap. You don't deserve here, smacking him in the face. They're smacking each other back and forth. Ali runs to the second rope, goes to jump to get the tornado DDT going again, and Daniel Bryan catches him with the double knees. Hits him with the pin, 1, 2, 3, and Bryan retains. Awesome match. By the end, the crowd was, of course, cheering for Ali. It was good to see, to not see KO take the pin because he did just come back. That would have been bad for him, but it was okay for Ali. I think he's pretty safe right now. He just did come back. He's off injury. He was the underdog in the match, of course, unexpected. And this was a really good match. So we'll go ahead and see how they insert Kofi into this match for WrestleMania. Of course, that's what everybody's hoping happens. He does deserve his shot. He got taken out of this one for no reason by Vince McMahon, and he did get the beat down earlier. He got screwed over, so maybe they'll play on that McMahon storyline with Kofi screwing over Kofi into WrestleMania to insert him into the WWE title picture. Next was the Becky Lynch and Charlotte match. Of course, if Becky wins, she gets inserted into the main event, WrestleMania triple threat for the Raw Women's title with Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair. The match was, it was what it was. Charlotte worked over Becky's knee. Becky would get some flurries of offense in, and then Charlotte would go back to the knee, taking it out. And this was pretty much the whole match back and forth. Finally, Charlotte locks in the figure fours, going to bridge for the figure eight as Ronda Rousey comes running down. She comes in the ring and just punches Becky in the stomach just to get the interference, I guess. Ref calls the DQ. Of course, Becky wins by DQ. Ronda just leaves. Everyone looks real confused. I was really confused. This kind of made Becky look like a chump. It's sad because this was the funnest thing I had watched at one point in WWE since Stone Cold Steve Austin, maybe. It was so much fun. Becky looked like a complete badass for a while. Now she kind of just looks like she's getting lucky to get back into the main event. I don't know what's going on. They just put too much into this. This was a blood feud, simple blood feud between Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey. They just were going at it, hating each other, talking crap. That's all they needed to do, and then they just added way too much into it, and now it's I don't know, it's very, very convoluted, but I'm sure the match is going to be great. All three are really great in the ring, but as long as Becky comes out on top, I'm sure we'll forget about all this, because that's what we do as wrestling nerds. We just forget stuff. And then Elias had one more spot where he came in and talked about the Becky thing that just happened and said that she's so destined for failure. I'm surprised she's not from Ohio. He just hates Cleveland. And then he was talking about the next match, which of course is the main event, the Shield versus Baron Corbin, Bobby Lashley, and Drew McIntyre. And he's talking about the Shield breaking up and getting back together, and that he said he has no faith in them. Like every time the Cleveland Browns take the field, he's just super, super heat at this point. Like, people are booing him out the build. You can hear some laughs in there because it is funny. The way he presents it is funny, but they were hating him. So finally the main event happens. Like I said, the Shield against the Baron Corbin, Bobby Lashley, and what's his name, Drew McIntyre. The match itself was cool. It was classic Shield entrance. You hear the Sierra Hotel, that shtick, and then they come out the crowd, everyone in their riot gear like before, which I don't know where Dean had to buy some new stuff, I guess, because I'm pretty sure he burned his at one point. Bunch of big classic Shield spots. They looked like at first they were trying to protect Roman. He was kind of hanging out on the apron. It was a lot of Seth and Dean doing the work. Roman did come in and end up getting all his offense in. It went into the crowd, and they were fighting over by the pre-show set. Dean jumps off the table, gets caught by, I think it was Drew and Bobby were out there with him, and then you see Seth out of nowhere flying out from the balcony and just takes all the dudes out. So everyone's down. Meanwhile, Roman's in the ring going back and forth with Corbin. They're having their own little singles match, which is pretty cool. A couple near falls. Finally, everyone works their way back towards the ring area. Classic triple power bomb. Drew through a table, takes him out. Bobby got taken out somehow by something, I forget what, but he was done. The Hounds of Justice surround the ring. Guy on three sides of the ring. Corbin's in there by himself. They go in, beat him down, give him the triple power bomb, and then Roman Reigns gets the pin. They go for the Shield fist bump. All three of them, boom. It's a nice moment. They hug, they embrace for a while. Commentary put over for the entire match that this was the last time we see the Shield together, which if it was, I think this was great. I did say on my predictions video that I was hoping Dean would turn and he would set up a match between him and Roman. After watching this, I'm glad that didn't happen. If they do never reunite again, if Dean really is gone after WrestleMania and they don't have anything after that, this was a good send-off. Awesome moment. Nice show. Not a perfect show, of course. There's never really a perfect show, but it was fun. Way better than expected. Yeah, so that's my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know how terrible of a reviewer and fan I am down below. Let me know what you think. Like, share, comment, subscribe, dislike. Honestly, any kind of reaction would be great. And I'll see y'all after Raw tomorrow.